I was wrong about Midjourney's style creator. Like, properly wrong. In my last video, I said Style Creator wasn't really making new styles, that it was basically just remixing or pointing to things that already exist inside Midjourney. And then the comment section happened, and you proved me wrong. Not tiny detail wrong, fully, completely, numerically wrong. Because it turns out, Style Creator is minting brand new sREF styles in a huge number of space I wasn't even looking at properly. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly where I messed up, what actually happens with those giant style IDs, and then we're going to spend the rest of the video just bathing in a bunch of fresh styles I created with Style Creator. In the last video, my conclusion was basically, Style Creator feels like a nice interface that shuffles existing styles around and hands you something that already existed somewhere in Midjourney's brain. And honestly, with the tests I did back then, that story fit. The grids looked like things I'd already seen in the Style Explorer. The results still felt very Midjourney core, and the style numbers looked like generic IDs. So I walked away thinking, cool tool, but not actually new styles, just better access to the old stuff. That was the story. And then the comments section decided to speedrun my reality check. Under that video, someone said they were hoping Style Creator would let us create genuinely new style references. Then another person chimed in with something way more specific. A Midjourney mod had said that every time you press Refine Style, Midjourney actually uses a new style reference behind the scenes, and only the little try arrow reuses the existing one. On top of that, they mentioned it really should be showing as --style instead of --sREF, because that's how it behaves. Then came the kicker. Someone asked Midjourney's own AI chatbot about it, and it said, yeah, Style Creator creates a new style reference too. That's when I went full nerd in a lab coat mode and started ripping into the numbers. Here's where the plot twist actually lives. In the number ranges. In my head, I thought the style IDs I'd been testing were inside the 4 billion range for the sREFs. So I was confidently talking about this mysterious 4 billion range, while my actual tests weren't even in it. Those style codes were from a different range entirely, and I didn't even realize it. Then I thought, oh wow, they must have expanded the number space for the style references. I'm not sure what number it goes up to, but so far, if I've counted the zeros right this time, they seem to be confined to under 10 billion. So time for some tests to see what happens. Here's what I did this time. First, I created a fresh style in Style Creator and grabbed its full ID, one of those gigantic "what even is this number" codes, safely in the over 4 billion zone. I used that number with sREF on a bunch of different prompts. Same ID, different prompts. It worked every time, in a consistent, stylized way. So far, so good. Then I started breaking things on purpose. I took that same valid ID and changed a digit, moved a digit, generated completely random 10-digit numbers in that high range. Everything else in the prompt stayed identical. The only thing I changed was the sREF number. And here's what happened. With the exact ID that Style Creator gave me, Midjourney was happy. With any random number that doesn't belong to a style I created, instant error. No hidden fallback, no secret style pool, just, nope, that ID doesn't exist. So from the outside, it behaves like this. Before you create a style, that ID is invalid. You create or refine a style in Style Creator, and a brand new high-range ID becomes valid. You poke random numbers in that range, and they fail. That's not surfacing existing styles. That's writing new keys into the system. So yes, Style Creator is actually creating new styles. So we could probably redefine it as a very advanced mixing tool for the styles. Each time you refine, it's minting a new sREF in that expanded number space and tying it to the visual behavior you've been steering towards. The little try arrow just reuses one of those already minted sREFs. I wasn't wrong about Style Creator being a style selector. I was wrong about it only being a selector. It's a selector and a factory. You point, you click, and under the hood it's registering brand new high-range sREF styles that didn't exist 5 minutes ago. And I simply didn't realise that the numbers were going over the usual 4 billion. Now, am I saying Midjourney is training a full new model just for you every time you press refine? No. It's almost certainly saving some internal configuration or embedding and attaching it to that giant ID. But from our point of view as users, that's exactly what we want new style to mean. You create it, it gets a unique ID that didn't work before, you plug that ID into sREF later, the style comes back consistently. So instead of just complaining about my own math, I decided to push it and see what happens if I lean into Style Creator as a style factory. For the rest of this video, I'm going to show you a bunch of completely new styles I cooked up with Style Creator, all using those big high-range IDs. I'll quickly introduce each one, and then I'll shut up and let the images roll so you can really see how stable they are across different prompts. Bonus tip that I discovered today. If you hover over the like symbol of the styles in the selection grid, you're going to see the other examples images of that style, and not just the one that matches your prompt the closest. It certainly gives you more perspective on the styles you're bringing into the mix. Alright, let's start the style tour. A dreamy monochrome aqua green look with soft fog, smooth gradients, and subtle contrast that feels like serene sci-fi concept art. Perfect for atmospheric landscapes, background plates, or mood-setting environment shots. A dense, textile-like style with high contrast black and white stripes, knitted needlepoint texture, and pops of warm colour that turn everything into graphic, patterned fabric. Ideal for fashion-forward portraits, textile mock-ups, or bold, surreal design pieces. An ornate teal and gold Art Nouveau illustration style with swirling filigree, floral scrollwork, and softly lit vignette panels that's perfect for decorative book covers, tarot-style cards, or elegant fantasy UI frames. A high-contrast black and white grain spray illustration style with gritty stippling and bursts of neon magenta powder, ideal for dramatic portraits, album covers, or moody fantasy key art. A muted sepia and teal palette with pops of deep red, sketchy ink outlines, and slightly grungy textured panels gives this a quirky, gothic storybook feel that's perfect for offbeat children's illustrations, character lineups, or indie narrative game art. A lush Baroque dream style with gilded filigree, dusky emerald and rose gold tones, and soft cinematic bloom. Ideal for ornate fantasy portraits, cathedral interiors, and mystical romance covers or key art. A sleek black and gold Art Deco-inspired look with dramatic spotlit contrast and metallic sheen. Great for luxury branding, moody portraits, upscale interiors, and elegant packaging or poster design. A grim cinematic horror look, with cold greens and muddy greys, punctuated by harsh neon red or cyan highlights, heavy vignetting, and shallow depth of field. Great for unsettling atmosphere in psychological horror posters, album covers, or moody narrative key art. A grainy black and white soft focus look, with occasional rainbow diffraction bands and glossy highlights. Great for dreamy fashion editorials, surreal portraits, or moody fine art photography. A hyper-saturated rainbow textile style with thick knitted or embroidered zigzags and floral swirls that feels like psychedelic folk fashion, perfect for bold pattern design, statement portraits, and eye-catching poster or album art. A stark black canvas with fine white particle or splatter rendering and selective glowing yellow highlights, creating high-impact graphic silhouettes, ideal for t-shirt prints, music posters, or modern mystical iconography. A minimalist black ground style drawn with fine white particle trails and long exposure light streaks, with occasional neon accents, perfect for ethereal silhouettes, motion-themed posters, and sleek modern t-shirt or album cover designs. A high-contrast, mostly desaturated photo style with sharp cinematic lighting and searing neon red highlights that feel like glowing light leaks or infections, ideal for edgy fashion editorial work, surreal portraits, or horror-tinged sci-fi key art. A hazy teal-green sci-fi atmosphere with soft volumetric fog and subtle warm coral accents, perfect for tranquil alien landscapes, meditative travel scenes, or ambient background plates. A dreamy pastel sci-fi landscape style with hazy cyan skies, soft magenta or pink glows, and painterly gradients that's great for tranquil alien shorelines, atmospheric travel posters, or ambient background scenes. A warm teal and cream storybook palette with pops of red, thin inky outlines, and softly textured watercolour shading that feels like whimsical vintage children's art. Perfect for charming postcards, picture books, or cosy indie game scenes. A dark gothic illustration style with black backgrounds, scratchy antique gold limework, and soft coral pink accents. Great for ornate occult posters, tarot cards, or dramatic album cover art. A grungy mustard yellow and muted teal storybook style, with thin scratchy ink lines and watercolour-like shading. Great for quirky narrative illustrations, character sheets, or offbeat children's indie game art. An iridescent Baroque fantasy look with soft focus portraits, metallic lace details, and rainbow oil slick gradients that's perfect for dreamy couture editorials, ornate surreal posters, or decadent fantasy book covers. A cinematic mint teal and warm amber sci-fi palette with soft fog, glowing rim lights, and smooth concept art rendering. Great for retro-futuristic landscapes, environment key art, or atmospheric background plates. A glittering black ground style built from dense silver and copper particle clouds that form silhouettes and landscapes. Perfect for luxurious fantasy posters, dramatic event graphics, or eye-catching album covers. A deep cobalt and gold whimsical illustration style with swirling filigree, soft painterly shading, and tiny decorative motifs. Ideal for cozy children's book pages, magical stationery, or charming casual game art. A misty teal and amber cinematic look with soft fog, glowing highlights, and gentle lens bloom that's perfect for dreamy sci-fi markets, atmospheric character scenes, or moody environment key art. A bold black and white line art style with hot magenta accents and chunky, sticker-like shading that feels like pop-punk tattoo flash, perfect for edgy decals, merch, or character-based logo graphics. A dark, glossy photo style with hyper-saturated magenta, gold, and electric blue, covered in glittery speckled paint and particle textures. Perfect for intense album covers, streetwear campaigns, or neon-drenched fantasy portraits. And there we have it, 25 completely new styles from yours truly. I actually created a few more for this video, so if you'd like to see the full set, you can grab the prompt PDF on my Patreon or Ko-fi. Supporters get access to a growing library of prompt PDFs, occasional exclusive videos, and early ad-free access to most of the videos I post. Huge thanks to everyone already supporting and helping keep this channel going. If you'd like to join them, the links are down in the description. Let me know what you thought of the styles in this video. They're definitely biased toward things I like, but you're absolutely welcome to use them, tweak them, and mash them together with other styles to your heart's content. Also tell me what you think of my new avatar. I wanted to mix things up and try some more advanced editing, especially since generating tons of 5-second AI clips for a 15-minute video is not cheap. The tools are great, but video generation eats through credits fast, and even with Midjourney's relaxed mode, the queues and wait times add up once I've run out of paid hours. So I made this avatar with the help of AI and hooked it up to a Python script that analyzes the audio and moves it based on the volume of my voice. So comment, like, hype, and all that good stuff. It really helps more than you think. Thank you so much for watching, and let's continue prompting.